Hello, bruv. I'm here on an normal off day. I don't even know what today is. What's it, Friday? Anyway, I'm off on a Friday because I had to work 8 straight days anyway. Rewarding myself for finishing my little local newspaper publication. I went and bought some books from thrift stores while dropping off copies of said publication. Drink of choice today, Diet Fago Cream Soda. Let's get to these goddamn books. Max Weber, The Protestant Ethic and the Spirit of Capitalism, and other writings. I don't really know much about Max Weber, but supposing that he's an economist. I thought he was an artist, but maybe I'm wrong. German 1905 edition. The new translation includes, along with Weber's treatise, an illuminating introduction, a wealth of explanatory notes, exemplary responses and remarks both from Weber and his critics that were sparked by its publication. Max Weber was right. If we learn anything from the history of economic development, it is that culture makes almost all the difference. Anyway, it was a quarter, so obviously I'm going to buy it because I know it's probably worth 10, 12 bucks. This one is not worth 10 or 12, but it's worth about 5 to 10. And I don't know if I have a copy of Mere Christianity that is not for sale. So for a quarter, I could not pass it up. Don't think I've ever read anything by C.S. Lewis, but I saw that movie. Whatever that long one was. Back in the day at the drive-in, in the snow. This book I do have probably at least 2 copies of, but for 1 quarter, I could not pass it up. They have a word for it, Howard Rheingold, a lighthearted lexicon of untranslatable words and phrases. Let's look at a few. No, this is bullshit. Torschluss panic, fear of being left out. None. I have none Torschluss panic, or whatever it was called. Halik, Indonesian, non-commune. Wan, unwillingness to let go of illusion. There you go. It's Korean. Maybe that is of me. In Eastern religions, the cause of suffering is seen to be ignorance of the evidence that desires and hungers and thirsts are part of an illusion. In Western religion, the cause of suffering is seen to be an inability or refusal to accept the reality of Jehovah or Jesus Christ or Allah. Even if people understand that there is a way out of their spiritual dilemma, they often seem unable or unwilling to let go of the very illusions that keep them enthralled to suffering. The Koreans use the word wan, pronounced wan, to refer to this perverse and paradoxical trait. Wendy Doniger O'Flaherty, a scholar of Eastern spiritual practices and an expert on the notion of illusion, puts it this way. The Cause of Rebirth by... It was originally $90 at the store, but they've since changed all their prices to $1.25 for paperback. This one, Laptop from Hell, obviously Hunter Biden, Big Tech, and the Dirty Secrets the President's Tried to Hide by Miranda Devine. So, the book was too good. I would have bought it even if it wasn't worth 10 or 15 bucks. The dollar was well worth it. What year is it from? 2021. I will probably sell this just because I have a feeling that in 2 years it's going to be worth nothing. And I can just pick it up again for 25 cents. Obviously, if you don't know about Hunter Biden's laptop, You don't know nothing. Nothing. Encyclopedia of Celtic Wisdom, a Celtic shaman's source book. Listen, I don't give a fuck about Celtic wisdom. But it's interesting enough, and that's only a quarter. The oracular head. Another method of speaking to the dead is by oracular means. Several severed heads feature strongly in Celtic lore, especially which speak. What? After the manner of Orpheus. Much claim has been made for a cult of the head. What? That sounds like a fucking strippers union. Where'd we go? Among the Celts, who almost certainly did not worship heads. The position is a much more subtle one, relating to the ancestors. To the Celts, the head was the seat of wisdom and of the soul. To venerate the head of one's forebears was only a form of proper ancestral respect. To make the heads of one's enemies, to take the heads of one's enemies, was to appropriate their cunning and wisdom for the use of one's own tribe, and to deny them a place among their own kind. Many of the extant, I hate that word. Does that say extant or extant? It almost seems like stunt. Okay, focus in. It does say extant. I hate that fucking word. Myths about heads concern ancestry and the legal precedents which underpin traditional rites. This is actually pretty interesting. One concerns the great British god king Bendigeid Brún the Blessed, who ruled Powys in North Wales after some outrageous behavior towards his sister Brunwen by her Irish in-laws. He leads a raiding party to Ireland in order to rescue her. During the ensuing conflict, most of the British are slain, with only 7 remaining. Mortally wounded, Brun instructs his followers to behead him and to bury the head at the White Mount, the present day of the Tower of London, there to act as a palladium against invasion. On their way to perform this sacred errand, the followers sojourn for a period of 87 years. What? The followers sojourn for a period of 87 years at 2 otherworldly locations. What the fuck is this? Where the head of Bronn speaks to them and is as coherent as it was during life. Unaware of the passage of time, they remain thus in seclusion until one of their number opens a forbidden door and all the sorrows they have endured return to memory. Time resumes its mundane passage and the head of Brunn is subsequently buried. Jesus Christ. I can't read in this fucking dim light. The Body. A Guide for Occupants by Bill Bryson, best-selling author of A Short History of Nearly Everything. This one I paid 99 cents for, obviously. But it's a hardcover, and I believe it's Foist edition. I could have waited a week, and then it would have been 33% off. But I figured might as well get it. 2019. Let's see, first edition? I think it is. Bill Bryson once again proves himself to be an incomparable companion as he guides us through the human body, how it functions, its remarkable ability to heal itself, and unfortunately the ways it can fail. Full of extraordinary facts, your body made 1 million red blood cells since you started reading this. Why would somebody with the time, resources, and money that Bill Bryson has, maybe he's dead by now, I doubt it, waste their time writing about a subject that's been fucking covered to nauseum? Makes no sense, but I guess whenever, I'm sure it's a fresh take. I'm trying to be interesting. A Graveyard for Lunatics. Is this 2 books? A Graveyard for... Why does it say Hollywood underneath? Is it part of the title, or is it just letting you know that the cover is Hollywood? I guess I can look at the title. The title. Don't worry, I don't talk like this. I just do it on purpose. Why does it say Hollywood at the bottom? Ray Bradbury dead? I assume he is. Anyways, it's another first edition, even though it has this horrible bargain book sticker on it. I don't even know if Bradbury books are desirable, but a hardcover first edition can only generally increase in value. I paid 59 cents for it, so even if it's worth 10 or 5 to 10 bucks, which I can confirm that it is, I've already earned 10 times what I paid for it. No, this is not a get-rich scheme. Maybe I can go sand the fucking door or peel paint again. God damn it, Jim. Anyway, there's that sticker. This is how you inadvertently build a library. Rather cheaply. Another fucking double sticker. I like this wolf. The Wolf of the Kremlin, the first biography of L.M. Kaganovich. The Soviet Union's Architect of Fear by Stuart Kayan. As you know, Russia has been canceled. And the pundits, the insane pundits, are calling for Vladimir Putin to be dragged before a tribunal for invading Ukraine, which in the general sense is a bad thing, but it's been forced upon him by American involvement in the Baltic region. And despite Russia's plea to join NATO for the last 6 or 7 decades, it's fallen on deaf ears as the U.S. and its comrades, pun intended, encroach upon the Soviet Union's area of influence. Only America and our adversaries can invade other countries and destroy the culture and population. Vladimir Putin obviously isn't part of the New World Order cabal, even though to some extent he has to be in power, or otherwise he would have been taken out long ago. Anyway, he's not part of the the elite echelons, or he's formed his own faction with the Chinese and has been ostracized, which, ironically, China, which is literally openly enslaving its own people, still seen as a fucking preferable trading partner, despite their practices, their totalitarian practices. So, I mean, the whole ostracization of Russia is completely fucking bogus. Not that I really care about Russia besides their women. And not from a puerile, or is it prurient stance? Puerile would be children, wouldn't it? I always mix those two fucking words up. Prurient stance, but aesthetically speaking, Russian women are generally pleasant to look at. The men seem like fucking weirdos. Brutes and halfwits, but obviously not all of them. Anyway, previously my attempts to collect Russian books was solely based upon a love for Regina Spektor, and then after that, arbitrarily. And now I will collect every Russian book I can find just because Russia has been canceled, and eventually the books will start being burned and banned, and your eyes will be gouged out by the new NKVD American style. So yeah, now I have another book for my Russia files. Ghost Hunters, and I thought this was that one TV show, but it's not, luckily. It's got literary implications. William James and the Search for Scientific Proof of Life After Death. Deborah Bloom. In Ghost Hunters, Deborah Bloom has vividly brought to life one of the most tumultuous passages in the history of the human psyche, when science first declared open war on religion. In the midst of this upheaval, a few brave and romantic scientists risk the contempt of their colleagues to listen to voices from beyond the grave, with open minds and open notebooks. Their quest to take the measure of the immeasurable and know the unknowable is a fascinating reminder that reason and revelations are not opposites, but two paths that continually cross each other in the heart's search for ultimate understanding. Obviously, small font on dark covers is trying for me. I can't read that shit in this dim light. I thought William James was a writer. They're saying maybe he was a writer and a scientist. No, he was a philosopher and professor of psychiatry at Harvard. I thought he was an English novelist. Shows you what I know. Roger Hodgson. James Hislop. So yeah, this will go in my Victorian. I'm guessing there's spiritualism in this book. Go in my Victorian collection of spiritualist books. People sticker with me, shall you? Alright, I gotta go eat some chips. Peace.